Hello, everyone. There is a moment most English learners know very well. Someone asks you a question in English. You know the answer. You have the words. But something stops you. A voice inside your head arrives very quickly. What if I make a mistake? What if my pronunciation is wrong? What if they do not understand me? What if they laugh? And by the time that voice finishes, the moment is already gone. You smile. You stay silent. And quietly, you promise yourself, next time I will speak. But next time never comes. Because doubt always arrives faster than confidence. Today, I want to talk about that voice. Where it comes from. What it is doing to your English. And how to speak before it stops you. Stay with me until the end. Because confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you create. And it begins with one word, spoken before you feel ready. Part 1. The voice of doubt. Every English learner has this voice. It sounds different for everyone. For some, it says, your English is not good enough. For others, it says, everyone will judge you. For some, it says, wait until you are perfect. But underneath all of these versions, the message is the same. Not yet. And that not yet is the most dangerous phrase in language learning. Because there is no perfect moment to speak. There is only this moment. And if you always wait for not yet to become now, you will be waiting forever. The voice of doubt does not disappear on its own. It only grows stronger the longer you listen to it. Doubt is not a sign that you are not ready. Doubt is a sign that you are about to grow. The moment you feel doubt is the exact moment you need to speak. Because that discomfort is where your English begins to change. Every learner who became fluent went through this same moment. They felt the doubt. They spoke anyway. And that decision made all the difference. Part 2. Why confidence does not come first. Here is the thing most learners misunderstand. They believe confidence must come before speaking. They think, when I am confident, I will speak. But that is completely backwards. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes from speaking. Every time you open your mouth, even imperfectly, you give your brain a new piece of evidence. Evidence that you can do it. Evidence that people still understand you. Evidence that the fear was bigger than the reality. And slowly, that evidence builds into confidence. Not the kind that arrives all at once. The kind that grows one sentence at a time. But if you wait for confidence before speaking, you never speak. And if you never speak, confidence never arrives. Confidence is not the starting point. Confidence is the result. This means that every person who speaks English confidently today was once exactly where you are now. They were nervous. They were imperfect. But they spoke. And speaking is what changed everything. Part 3. What silence is costing you. Every time you choose silence over speaking, something happens. Not immediately. Not dramatically. But slowly. Your brain receives a message. The message is, English is dangerous. Stay quiet. It is safer. And every repeated silence makes that message stronger. Until speaking English feels not just uncomfortable, but impossible. This is how learners disappear. Not because they stopped studying, but because they stopped speaking. A language that is never spoken slowly becomes a language that cannot be spoken. The words are still there. The grammar is still there. But the ability to use them in real time disappears without practice. Think about it. You can study English for 10 years. But if you never speak, those 10 years will not give you fluency. Fluency is not built in notebooks. Fluency is built in conversations. The cost of silence is not just one missed conversation. The cost of silence is your fluency. And every day you choose silence is a day your English stays exactly where it is. Part 4. The 1-second decision. So how do you break this pattern? It begins with 1 second. 1 second before doubt finishes its sentence. 1 second where you decide, I will speak anyway. Not perfectly. Not bravely. Not with confidence you do not yet have. Just with the decision to open your mouth before your fear closes it. This is not a technique. It is not a trick. It is a choice. And every time you make that choice, something important happens inside your brain. The speaking pathway becomes stronger. The fear pathway becomes weaker. Over time, the 1-second decision becomes automatic. At first, that 1 second feels like a battle. Your mind will give you many reasons to stay silent. It will tell you that you are not ready, that your English is not good enough, that people will judge you. But if you speak in that 1 second before all of those thoughts arrive, you win. And each time you win, the next battle becomes a little easier. Speaking before doubt is not about being fearless. Speaking before doubt is about being faster than fear. Part 5. Simple English is powerful English. Here is something that surprises many learners. Native speakers are not impressed by complicated vocabulary. They are not waiting for perfect grammar. They are impressed by clear communication. By someone who says what they mean, simply and directly. You do not need long sentences. You do not need advanced grammar. You do not need a perfect accent. You need to say something real, in real English, in the real moment. That is what communication is. Simple English is not weak English. Simple English is honest English. And honest English connects with people far more powerfully than perfect English ever could. Think about the people in your life who communicate best. Are they the ones who use the most complicated words? Or are they the ones who express themselves clearly and directly? Clear communication is always more powerful than complicated language. So stop waiting until you have better words. Use the words you have right now. They are enough to start a conversation. They are enough to build a connection. They are enough. Part 6. Speaking is training. Think about this. A musician does not wait until they play perfectly before performing. They perform. They make mistakes. They learn. They improve. And through performing, they become better musicians. A child learning to walk does not wait until they can balance perfectly before standing. They stand. They fall. They stand again. Nobody expects a child to walk perfectly on the first try. And nobody expects your English to be perfect either. Speaking English works exactly the same way. Every imperfect sentence is a training session. Every mistake is information your brain uses to improve. Every awkward pause is your brain building a stronger pathway. You do not speak to be perfect. You speak to get better. And the only way to get better is to keep speaking. Not someday. Today. Even if it is just one sentence. Even if it is simple. Even if nobody is listening except you. The people who improve fastest are not the smartest. They are the ones who practice the most. They speak in the shower. They speak on their commute. They speak to themselves in English every single day. And that daily practice is what creates fluency. Part 7. How to speak when you are afraid. Here is a practical habit for you. The next time you feel afraid to speak in English, do not fight the fear. Instead, make it smaller. Take one breath. And say just one word. Not a sentence. Not a paragraph. Just one word. Good. Yes. Hello. Interesting. That one word breaks the silence. And once the silence is broken, the next word becomes easier. And the next. And the next. Another habit is to prepare simple sentences in advance. When you know you will need to speak English, prepare 3 simple sentences. What is your name? Where are you from? What do you do? These sentences are your starting point. Once you say those 3 sentences, the conversation begins to flow naturally. You do not need to plan everything. You just need to start. And starting is the hardest part. Remember this. The most fluent English speakers in the world still get nervous sometimes. They still forget words sometimes. The difference is that they continue anyway. They do not stop. And that willingness to continue is what fluency actually looks like. Part 8. The identity of a speaker. Here is something powerful to consider. The way you see yourself affects the way you speak. If you believe you are bad at English, your brain will work to prove that belief correct. It will find every mistake. It will notice every hesitation. It will remind you of every failure. But if you begin to see yourself differently, everything changes. Not as someone who is bad at English, but as someone who is learning English. Someone who is growing. Someone who speaks imperfectly and improves every single day. This shift in identity is not about lying to yourself. It is about choosing a more accurate story. Because the truth is, you are not bad at English. You are in the process of becoming fluent. And that process requires speaking. Every day. Start saying this to yourself. I am someone who speaks English. Not perfectly, but bravely. Not fluently yet, but consistently. That identity will guide your behavior. And your behavior will create your fluency. Part 9. Your voice belongs in the conversation. Here is the final thing I want you to hear today. Your voice belongs in the conversation. Not when your English is perfect. Not when your confidence is complete. Right now. Because the world does not need more silent learners waiting for permission to speak. The world needs people who say something real, even imperfectly. Who connect, even nervously. Who show up, even with a small vocabulary and a quiet voice. That is where real communication lives. Not in perfection. In presence. The person who speaks imperfectly and keeps going is always more powerful than the person who stays silent waiting for the perfect moment. Your voice has value. Your ideas have value. Your story has value. And none of that value can reach the world if you stay silent. The conversation is waiting for you. Speak before doubt tells you not to. Every time you speak in English, you are giving someone else permission to do the same. You are showing them that imperfect English is enough. That trying is enough. That showing up is enough. Final message. Doubt will always arrive. There will always be a voice that says, not yet. Not good enough. Wait. But you do not have to listen. You can speak before doubt finishes its sentence. You can use simple words and say something real. You can train your voice the same way you train your mind. One sentence at a time. One moment at a time. One brave, imperfect word at a time. Confidence is not waiting for you at the end of a grammar book. Confidence is waiting for you on the other side of your next spoken sentence. So from today, speak first. Let doubt catch up later. Now I want you to do something right now. Write one English sentence in the comments. Anything. Your name. How you feel today. One thing you want to say. Just one sentence. Simple English. Because that one sentence is the beginning of everything. If this video helped you, subscribe to Gentle Wisdom. And remember, the most powerful English is not perfect English. The most powerful English is spoken English. See you in the next video.